If you make good money but still feel broke, I want you to hear this before you blame yourself. Most people who feel broke on high salaries don't actually have an income problem. They have a money system problem. In this video, I'm going to show you why that feeling exists, how to tell whether it's coming from a real financial strain or from a broken system, and exactly what needs to change so progress finally starts to feel real. Before we talk about solutions though, we need to slow down and make sure we're actually talking about the same problem. So listen, when I say feeling broke, I'm not talking about literally having no money. I'm talking about something more subtle and much more common. I'm talking about not being able to relax even when things seem okay. Feeling like every spending decision is risky. Constantly checking your bank balance even when you already checked it earlier that day. Feeling behind even though you can't really point to a specific reason why. And feeling like money is always loud in your head, taking up mental space, and you can't seem to turn it off. See, a lot of people hear that description and immediately think, well, I must not make enough money then. But that's rarely the issue. What's actually happening is this. Your experience of money is stressful, even if your financial reality isn't. And that distinction changes everything. Because look, if the problem were simply income, more money would fix it. And for a lot of people watching this, more money already came. The raise happened, the promotion happened, the career growth happened, and the stress stayed. Listen, your brain does not experience money the way a spreadsheet does. When your bank account can say one thing, your nervous system can say something completely different. And when those two are in conflict, your nervous system always wins. Most people don't realize this, but money stress is not experienced as a logical problem. It shows up as tension. It shows up as background anxiety. It shows up as a constant sense that you should be doing something even when you don't know what that something is. And that's why people who feel broke on high salaries often describe money as exhausting rather than scary. It's not panic. It's vigilance. It's the feeling of always being slightly on edge. Your brain is not asking, am I wealthy? It's asking, am I safe? And safety is not created by income alone. Safety is created by predictability. When money feels predictable, your nervous system relaxes. When it doesn't, stress always stays active, even if the numbers look good. This is why telling someone to just look at the numbers almost never works. The problem isn't that the numbers are wrong. The problem is that the brain doesn't know how to live inside those numbers without staying on guard. Once you understand that money stress is a nervous system issue and not an intelligence issue, the solutions start to make a lot more sense. See, what I've noticed over the years is that when people feel broke on a high salary, it almost never comes down to one big mistake. It usually comes down to a few missing pieces structurally that quietly compound stress over time. And if one of these pieces is missing, the pressure tends to stick around no matter how much money is coming in. And one of the biggest missing pieces is a clear definition of what enough actually means. Most people have financial goals, but they're vague by default. Here's a list of probably goals you've seen: save more, pay off debt, build wealth, be responsible. Those sound good, but they don't give your brain anything solid to latch onto. There's no finish line, there's no threshold, there's no clear signal that says you're okay right now. So instead, your brain fills in the gap, and when the gap is undefined, your nervous system assumes danger. It assumes you're behind, even when the numbers don't actually support that conclusion. This is why people can increase their income and still feel pressured. If enough has never been defined, more money just raises the stakes without reducing uncertainty. The stress doesn't go away because the brain still doesn't know when it's allowed to stand down. What actually helps here is not some perfect number, but a practical one. Something grounded in your current reality. Like for many people, it's simply knowing that a certain number of months of expenses are covered or their fixed obligations are handled automatically. The moment enough becomes concrete, the nervous system changes its posture, stops scanning constantly and starts relaxing slightly. That shift alone can reduce stress more than a raise ever will. Another major reason people feel broke is that money is usually experienced in fragments instead of a system. Most people don't interact with their finances as a whole. They experience money transaction by transaction. A bill shows up here, a purchase happens there. There's no overarching structure holding these pieces together, so every decision carries this emotional weight. This is also why people who feel broke often say things like, I don't even really know where my money is going, even when they technically do. They pull up transactions, they can see the balances, they can explain individual decisions. What they can't do is feel how those pieces fit together. So without a system, your brain treats every decision as potentially catastrophic. You're not anxious because you spent money, you're anxious because you don't fully understand how that spending fits into the larger picture, and more important, you don't have control. When money is organized as a system, something important changes. Individual transactions lose their power. You stop asking, can I afford this right now? And you start asking, is this already accounted for? That shift doesn't eliminate responsibility, but it removes fear. Context replaces panic. This becomes especially important as income increases. For most people, when they start making more money, nothing structural actually changes. Extra income just flows into the same reactive setup they had before. Bills increase quietly, lifestyle expands gradually, expectations rise, but the underlying system stays the same. And your brain doesn't measure safety by income, it measures safety by predictability. If money still feels unpredictable, even at a high level, stress will be there. In some cases, it actually increases, but now more to lose, and it's still no clear structure to protect it. So this is where many people get confused. They think like, I should be better by now. In reality, nothing about how their money is experienced has changed. Only the scale has. That leads to one of the most important distinctions that I can offer you. There is a difference between financial reality and financial experience. Financial reality is what the numbers say. Financial experience is what it feels like to live inside those numbers day to day. Most people work almost exclusively on reality. They earn more, they track more, and optimize more, but they never redesign the experience. And the experience doesn't change, and the stress doesn't either. See, this is where a lot of traditional advice breaks down. People are told to budget harder, cut more aggressively, or push themselves to be more disciplined. But look, discipline doesn't actually create safety. Structure does. What actually changes the I feel broke feeling is something much more quieter and much less dramatic. It's financial containment. Containment means your brain understands what money is for, what is already handled, and what is protected, and what is safe to spend. When those questions are answered consistently, the nervous system stops treating money like a constant threat. A helpful way to think about this is the difference between carrying loose items in your arms and putting them into a backpack. The weight might be the same, but the experience is completely different. Loose money is stressful money. Contained money is calmer money. Automation plays a role here, not because it's efficient, but because it removes decisions from your daily mental load. When critical bills, savings, and obligations happen automatically, your brain stops tracking them. They fade into the background, which is exactly where they should be. Another piece that matters just as much as the concept of safe money. If all money is restricted, none of it feels safe. When every dollar feels like it's under scrutiny, spending never feels relaxing. Even small purchases come with guilt or second guessing. Safe money changes that dynamic. It's money that's already been accounted for and explicitly allowed to be spent. No justifications required, no mental math. No guilt afterwards. When safe money exists, emotional spending loses its intensity. It becomes a choice instead of a release valve. Progress here isn't measured by whether you suddenly feel amazing. Feelings lag behind structure. Instead, progress shows up in a quieter way. Decisions get easier, you check your accounts less often, surprises feel manageable instead of catastrophic, and money takes up less space in your head. This is also why CFOs focus more on cash flow rather than balances. Balances are static. Cash flow tells you whether something is sustainable. When you understand what comes in, what goes out, and what's left consistently, your brain finally gets the answer it is really asking. Not, am I rich, but can I handle this? Even for people who are genuinely behind, clarity helps. Knowing exactly where you stand reduces fear. Reaction keeps people stuck. Clarity creates movement. One last piece that matters more than most people realize is time horizon. Most people live financially in the next bill, the next paycheck, or the next month. When everything is short term, everything feels urgent. Even extending your time horizon slightly to like 3 or 6 months changes how decisions feel. You stop needing perfection and you gain context. Pressure eases. And then when you zoom out and you look at everything we've talked about, a clear pattern emerges. People feel broke on high salaries, not because they're bad with money, but because their brain experiences money through predictability, not income. Enough is undefined. Money is fragmented instead of contained, and when income increases, the structure stays the same while the pressure grows. Fixing that isn't about earning more or cutting harder. It's about changing how money is experienced day to day. If this video helps you recognize yourself, that's not a coincidence. This is exactly why I started the channel the way I did. In this video over here, I walk through how I would take control of my money in 30 days if I had to start over. Not to optimize everything, not to be perfect, but to build a system that creates calm before it creates growth. That video is the foundation of everything else here. And if money still feels loud or heavy for you, that's the place to start.